Hello. It is Thursday night, Art Quilt Thursday. So how is everyone? Let me see who is here tonight. Who was the first person? The first person here was Polly. Way to go, Miss Polly. Okay. And then Laura. Hi, Laura, sweetie. Marcia. Charlene Piper. I was looking, remember I told y'all that I hadn't mailed the last couple July prize packages? Well, yours was one of them. It's going to be coming to you. I promise I will get that done. And there's Debbie. So good to see you, Debbie. Oh, yes. Happy Veterans Day to all of our amazing veterans. Male, female, everyone who served our country. Hello, Linda. Betty Middleton. Oh, you knew the ladybug thing. Hi. My Diana Wright calls me ladybug, and I just love that. All right. Annette Parsons. Hi, sweetie. You did 2 blocks over because you didn't like the color combination. Ah. They're a little bit smaller. Yeah, and what you can do is try to kind of... some of mine were a little bit smaller too. Now, when you print them out, make sure it doesn't have print to page or print to fit. Have that on when you bring up your printer dialog, when you click print and you bring up your printer dialog, make sure it doesn't say print to fit. And, but just try to fudge it a little. You know, when you sew it together, the one that's a little bit small, only use 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. You know how we do with that kind of stuff. So we kind of, you know, and just use a small stitch when you sew it together so it won't be likely to come apart. But there is Miss Carol. It is so good to see all of you. I wanted to start out. I got some progress done on this quilt, and I changed what I was going to do. So now I will show you. Oh, wow. Dan, we're thinking of Dan, and with great appreciation. And, but anyway, when I worked on this quilt, I kind of changed the way I was doing it. So I'll show you in just a moment. And I have some pictures that Miss Dolores, don't let me forget, Dolores sent me photos. In fact, I'm going to put this glue stick on my laptop right here in front of me. That's going to help me remember. But I want to show you some African Savannah, art quilts that she did some years ago. So that's exciting. Hi, Charlene Lawson. It is so good seeing you. Before we get started, I want to show you a public service announcement that we had a teenage girl in Asheville, North Carolina. She had been abducted, was being held against her will. And when cars would pass, she was being driven by this man. And as cars would pass, she would do the following symbol. Okay? She would hold her hand up as if to say, stop, or I need to get your attention. Then she would fold her thumb over and then fold down her fingers. This is the new universal symbol for either domestic violence, or I'm being held against my will, or I need help. Now, most likely, it doesn't mean come help me right this moment. It means check on me, follow up, let someone know. And she was doing this to passing motorists. And luckily, she did it to one who knew what that meant. And they called the police, and they sent the police. And you have to be real careful with this. They sent the police and just acted like it was a normal traffic stop, but then got her out safely. So please remember, it's hold your hand up. First, you do this. Then you put your thumb in and put your fingers down. And you are trapping your thumb with your fingers, holding it against its will, so to speak. Okay? So please remember that. because it's important if you get into a situation you're not comfortable with, that way, instead of screaming help, if you feel like you can't be safely do that, or the person won't be able to hear you if they're just through a window, if you do this universal symbol, somebody will know to get the authorities to try to do something to get you some help. Okay, so it just so you know, I thought that was so brilliant, and especially if the person who kidnapped you or is treating you badly doesn't know what that means, then you can very easily give that signal, and somebody will know to get help for you. And that's what they did. They called police from their car, said a car with this license plate and the young woman needs help. So isn't that good? So I like you to know it's very important, because you know what? Too often, I'm going to say this, but too often, because we can't fight as well as men, we get taken advantage of. So please know that. Keep that in mind. And when you need help, you ask for it. You get it. All right. So it turned out so good. It was a happy story and a good thing to share. So I don't have my new machine down here. It's upstairs, but I sewed on it today, and I was very happy to sew on it. And, even Georgia Bone Steel makes occasional. Oh, Marcia, you're so sweet. She makes occasional. Well, I tell you what, anything Georgia Bone Steel does is good with me. So I'm happy. All right, let's see now. I brought this down. Let me find my little giraffe. He's in here. There he is. And this is my big tote that has all of these fabrics in it. Isn't he cute? That's my giraffe. All right, let me turn on this light over here. My room is a mess, so I don't have my background light on like I normally do, because I didn't need you to see all this mess in bright light, you know? I am getting ready for my retreat, and so everything is a mess. All right. I'll get ready. Let me do one thing really quickly. Now, this is my black fabric for my silhouette, and I'm going to put some fusible on it. But before I put the fusible on it, I'm going to give it a good starching. And this will help it to stay firm and stiff enough to hold the fusible that I cut out. So I don't want it sitting. I don't want the starch sitting on top, because you know what happens if there's too much starch on the top when you get ready to iron. If it hasn't sunken into the fabric, it will then look like dandruff and flake all off. And I don't want that. So I'm looking to see which side is prettier. I think this is fine to be the back side. So what I'm going to do is very carefully peel. This is the tree, the umbrella tree from the drawing that I made. And I used a light box, and I first drew it with an ink pen on the fusible Steamosine 2. I like that just because. Okay, now, is it? Yeah, this is going to be right. Okay. I wanted to make sure, you only have one chance to get this right, people. So, and I don't want to waste fabric, so let me move it over here a little. All right. And the thing I like about Steamosine 2 when I do this is it's positionable. So I can make sure, it sticks down, it has the sticky side, and then after I cut it out, you can then peel the paper off and put it right. Okay, and the reason I had to check is I want this part towards the inside. I will show you. Okay, now I'm not going to take the time to cut this all out for you tonight because that's as boring as paint drying. But let me show you. See the way it is on the drawing and it has this edge like this? Well, once I cut this and then iron it on, it'll be the right direction. That's the one thing you have to make sure because when you use this, it matters which side of the paper you peel off so that you don't want a mirror. You don't want a mirror image. You want it to look like the drawing you had. And so let me just show you really quickly. Let me get these scissors. But I'm going to show you how that once you put this down, it will be the correct size. And I'm just showing you how quickly how I did this. I took the time to cut it out while I was watching TV because I wanted to get all the little, cutouts to make it look really authentic. But now I will show you. Okay, so see how this edge is and see how it is on the drawing? So now when I go to place this, let me come down. Oops, okay. So now when I place this on the drawing, pretend it's all cut out, and I'll have all the cutouts, and this will be hanging the right direction. So here it is, and when I cut it all out, then it will be black, of course, but it will look like this. Okay? So that's the tree. All right. I had told you that I didn't want to fuse it, so I thought that I would, and here is my giraffe. So it'll be my giraffe, it'll be my tree, and this will be the view that I've got, okay? All right, so when I go upstairs tonight, I'll cut all of this out like lace work, and then after that, I'll peel off this side of the paper, then I can put it down and iron it. But these go on last. I want to make sure that I have all my fabric where I want them. Okay? All right, Polly says, so the sky isn't the only part in color. The foreground can be too. Yes, I was looking at a couple of, I'll show you a couple of my inspirations. And one of them had just a very dark color. But anything that you're supposed to be seeing that's in front of the sun, I think I'm still, even though this is not black, I think, since this is kind of, you're picturing you're here and you're looking at it, if you look at something in front of the bright sun, it looks like it's black because the bright sun shrinks your eyes down, your irises, so that you can't really see color. But the more I looked at it, the more I wanted to go ahead and just do dark browns. Now this light is very bright here, so it's actually darker than it looks. Here is the little body of water. One of the things I'm going to want to do is to get my lightest light, and I'm going to put some reflections on the water. Let me see this. But I decided, I took apart the few pieces I had sewn together because I realized when I actually started to do it, I said, it's not going to look right sewn together because then it's going to be a jumble. And I thought, well, I'll cut it apart. And then I said, No, that's not how you work, Deb. That's going to be odd. So, but I'll put a highlight on the water like this, and it's supposed to be reflective of the sunset right here. So then what I would do is I'm going to go ahead and use this glue because it sticks better the first time. You know, it sticks immediately. And so let me rub this and this. I'm going to put the reflection here. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to put the reflection there, and then I'm going to cut another little piece. Oh no, my glue is dripping on my giraffe. I can't have that. I've been storing the glue upside down, and so when I opened it, it was ready to pour. Let me grab a paper towel and get this off my giraffe because he was right perfect, just like he was. So while I'm washing this off, I'll tell you I absolutely love my new machine. Oh my gosh. I had to get used to the fact that the presser foot, so now it's all clean, but I had to get used to the fact that the presser foot, I can't lift it anymore. I do it either by the button or automatic, but not every time I go to push the presser button, the lift the presser foot in the back, it kind of grunts at me. So I think it's like saying, you're not doing this right. All right, so this is what I was going to tell you. Let me turn on my fan. It all of a sudden got hot here. Oh, I can't. When I get hot, I'm miserable. Okay, so what I decided to do is cut the stripes all different widths. I didn't measure them. I just sat there and tried to cut them very straight and reasonably straight and different widths. And like this one. And I cut the different colors that I thought I would use. I'm going to use even some of this in this guy. And let me grab real quick one of my inspirations, because I like that in this inspiration, they've got some dark colors, some odd colors you wouldn't necessarily think about, but it works. So, oh, thank you. Thank you, Alberta. Let me get my cushion right on my chair. But anyway, I think this works. So, what I did is I started on the bottom first because that would be easier. I'm not going to worry about making the bottom so thin. Okay? I just wanted to get, I wanted the dark color here. And I'm going to come in and do thread painting, probably with black, and make it look like some grasses and things. And then I did this. Now this one I did do, wait a minute, did I fuse this or not? No, I didn't fuse that. I just glued it, okay? And, I was supposed to be cutting out. Anyway, I'll do another little line like going across this way on the water. But what I'm going to do, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers for the bottom. And I did a dark sky here. Whoops. I'm off the edge. That's what's happening. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to use the very lightest yellow I have and do reflections of the sun on the water. Then I did some dark orange here. And the rest of it, I'm going to do all with stripes. I don't want to make it, the whole point of this is to learn how to do something really unique with the sky. And the sky is the main thing that I wanted to do. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take my inspiration, put it here. Let me get this in. Okay. So, in fact, I'm using some of the ideas from this sky and the water because I really love that water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and start laying out stripes. And I try to iron them before I lay them on, because they tend to get a little messy when I bunch them all up. And so where the sun is setting, I will end up putting a little bit down in here, but not too much. And so this, the bottom edge of this is a little rugged. So I'm going to trim this up, and I just very carefully. The one thing I don't like is the edges fraying. And once you get them glued on, and then once you do the zigzag with invisible thread, they will stop that. But I don't want them to look all frayed right now. So some of them, I tried very hard to get them nice and smooth, but if you move them around, then they'll start fraying again. It doesn't take much. All right. So this I'll probably put about right there. So what I'm basically doing is I'm going to come in here with all these colors, and I'm going to put stripes in. So I'm looking at my inspiration, and I might do some, I don't know if I'm ready to do stripes that way. I think I might just keep doing them this way. But I'm going to put this like here, and I'm going to lay them out. And you notice I'm not going all the way across. I'm going to lay them where I see it. And then once I have them placed and I like them, then I will glue them down. Anybody have questions? I thought about the blue because you see, look what I did up here. I put turquoise, and see how I left this so I put turquoise, and then I put this purple so I can work in stripes and have a little turquoise in the sky. And you're right. I was thinking to go back and add a little touch of turquoise to match. Good job, Linda. Great idea. Very good. All right. And so this one, maybe, I kind of like the idea of not having across the whole sky. So since I glued down, so I have a piece of muslin. I put the interfacing on it, the fusible interfacing. And then I glued this down. And I'm using glue because I got really, really unhappy with trying to sew through the fusible. So just a couple places. Another thing, I use this very pale part for the sunset. I made sure I actually used some fusible and fused it to another shade of yellow behind this, so nothing from the back would peek through, because that's a very, very light color. So let's see. Now this one, I already put this down, but I just decided I want to move this. I know what I'll do. I think I'll glue another piece right on top of it. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'm just going to take my finger with the glue, since it's coming out over here on my paper. And I think I'll just add this right there. So I'm going to come along, and like here, I might put a stripe there. And I'm excited about using fabric like this. So this looks a little bit thick. So what I'm going to do to cut this fast, so I'm not here all night, is fold it as neat and tidy as I can, and then trim some of it off. All right, and since it doesn't have to match or sew together, I'm just laying it out, taking a look at it. Okay, I don't want this to be a very big piece, so I'm going to cut it, and it's got a little yellow orange here, so I'm going to put this there, and then the yellow orange part down here, I'll put over here. There. So do you see what I'm doing so far? Yes, my sky is going to be mostly filled with strips. I'm going to let some of the background show through. But there are going to be areas like this. You know, I might put in some of these dark orange. Ooh, and then I have, look at this. I thought this would be really exciting, like right up here. I'll put this right up there. And this is going to, and look at this one. Isn't that wonderful? So I'm going to put some of this, like put this one right here. This is going to go there. This one will go over here. All right, now don't line them up, but I want to put the dark one. The dark ones will be farther away from the actual sunset. Although I do have this darker part right here. Oh, thank you, Miss Debbie. And let me show you some more things. Like I've got some dull. I picked some vibrant colors, and then I picked some dull colors. And so I'm not going to cover up everything, but I am going to oh, that would be really good right there. So I'm going to cut that there. And then I'll put some over here. And what I'm going to try to do is look at my inspiration. I love where it comes down on the water. And you see how it's not solid, but even in the sky, this inspiration, look how the other colors peek through. Because if it's a certain kind of cloud, low cloud, it will reflect the sunset back. But other types might actually kind of diffuse it. And then behind it, you'll see, oh, this one's a good one. Let me see if I can find one I already trimmed of this. This is a grunge yellow. Oh, and look at this. I got this off of an ombre. So this one piece can do quite a bit. So, oh, I love this. I'll let this kind of hang off the edge over here. Okay? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of, oh, thank you. I wanted to make sure. And in the middle of something like that, then I'll do that. And I even have some little bits of very dark I can put in. Look at this mustard. There's so many colors we just don't realize. And, oh, now see, look at that. That is an interesting color. But look how you put it down and it kind of shimmers. This color says, look at me. So I'm going to put this in a really good spot. But I looked at all the colors I thought might have a chance of making this special. And then I'll put a piece of this over here. Whoops, you can't quite see that one. Sorry, it's over near the edge. And then I'm going to put a piece of it over here. So this, to me, this is part of the collage landscape. This is just another step in our path. And see how I put this little piece here? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this out. That way I can change it around. I can move it. And then if I like it, that's when I'll peel back half of it, put glue on it, lay it back down, then peel up the other half, put glue on it, and lay it back down. That way I know it's right where I meant it to be. All right, so let's see what else. I like having this bright orange there. Oh, look at this yellow. This is pretty, pretty remarkable. Now, that looks a little dark to be, I think that's a good one. What do you think? What do you think? Whoops, this has an ugly edge on it. Let me cut that. I'm going to keep my edges for the most part square. But I realized that there was no way for me to really sew the strips ahead of time the way I like to do it, so that if I glue them down, then I'll go over it and stitch back and forth with, I'll stitch back and forth. Let me see. I'm going to do a piece of this. I'll stitch back and forth with the clear. Gosh, now I'm making a mess. That glue just keeps coming out. Okay. Well, this one I can put right where I want it then, because it's got glue on it. I think that's good. And then I want to cut off these little threads. Sometimes I lose my words when I'm really concentrating. I'm sure you're the same way. I hate to be talked to when I'm concentrating. It's like, hey, I've got to pay attention here. I know I'm going to like this one, so I'm putting glue on that so I can put it down. Okay. So I'm hoping you're getting a chance to see what I'm going to do. And I've got so many. Oh, here's the grunge. This is a grunge that's yellow and gold. So this one, I think I'm going to cut it thinner. I know just where I want to put it. And just be careful that I don't want stop and start marks with the scissors, because I want it to kind of look like I did a bunch of thin lines and sewed them together. All right, here we go. I think I'm going to put this one right here. So I'm thinking it's going to work. I know that that one that I saw really inspired me. Oh, this is cool. I'll put this little piece right here. So the main thing is keep the lighter nearer the sun and then fade out a little bit the further away. All right, so I want to definitely find this grunge is wonderful. I think I'm going to put it right there. So not everyone is going to be the same thickness, and I like that. In fact, I'm trying to remember who suggested I make them different thicknesses, and I think that's fun. Okay. Oh, this is a pretty color. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut this into pieces and put a little here, a little there. And don't worry if you think, well, how do you stop and start? But if you actually go out and look at clouds in the sky, you will notice they do that anyway because a cloud gets in the way. And so, and like I told you, our eye wants to make it work. Now I'm going to cut this much and put it right here. And I think I'm going to put some of it over here. So let me see. I'm going to put it right on top of that orange. There we go. So I'm almost covering up everything that I put on there before. But the nice thing is I used a color, and see these little bits? I'm going to let those show. So I used this part right here. So I'm covering most of it, but I can leave some of it. Okay, this would look really good right here. Whoops, come on. Oh, let me cut another piece off of it. All right. I'll put this one right here. And then cut another piece. Put right here. And this will probably be my darker side, and that's okay. Oh, I even got this one. I even used a piece of this here. Ooh, that's kind of cool. It's not straight, but I'll have to think about that one. Ooh, you know what? I like the look of that right here. I like that. I like that. Gives a little movement. And that's just the leftover piece that I cut from probably right here. So I like that. Give a little movement to the land. What do you think? Do you like that? You suggested, Polly. Thank you, Miss Polly. Well, you know what? It's just, now sometimes I will, I might just kind of, well, I'll take a little bit of that away, or maybe that was too much. But that's one of the reasons I'm not gluing everything down right now, because you just don't know. The best thing to do is to put it, and especially, well, now, if I think I might move some of this around, then what I better do is, oh, I like this. I'll put that one there. So what I might do is use a little white glue that I know I can pull it up if I want to. That might be a good thing to do. Okay, I'll put this one here. And this is to kind of zigzag that brightness up. And in fact, I think yeah, I like that. So I'm laying these on top of some of them. It's like, and I only remember how I would just fold half of this back, put glue on it, pull it back down. And I think that would work out just fine. And now I've got some of the darker orange. That's definitely, I'll come up here near the top and lay in. Oh, look at this. That's really good. So it's really pretty easy, and it's fun, and it's freeing, and I just love it. Like this one, I'll probably put this up there, but I got to figure out how to make it. I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down because, honest to goodness, I love it. So I'm going to put the little glue here. Lay this right there. All right. Let me put a little more glue underneath. And just little dots. Doesn't take much. Okay. Then I'm going to lay this down just to kind of cover those edges. I really do like that. And it kind of makes me think that maybe the sunset is glancing off some of those edges. All right, here we go. Africa has got some absolutely gorgeous landscape. Oh, landscapes, animals, and amazing people. And it sure would be nice to go there. Don't know if I ever will, but I wish I could. All right. So now I've got to figure out how I'm going to work the little sky in. I think what I'm going to do is cut a little bit like that. Even though I'm mostly doing straight lines, to let the sky peek through, I might just make little brief cuts. And all right, I'm going to take another little piece of this and put this. Oh no, I don't know. I'll have to play with this to see where I want this to go. But any questions? Thank goodness I don't have a cat. Boy, I'm reading the cat comment, and the cat would mess all this up. So that's the one thing. Kitties want to be right where you're working, don't they? All right, I like this yellow. So I think I'm going to put a little bit. Let me see if I can find a little of that turquoise. But I know I'm going to put a little bit of this on the water. Oops. I don't have much space to put it, so I'm going to have to cut it into little pieces and then lay those. Because this is just a little watering hole. This is not a lake, just a little watering hole. All right, let's see. So then and next Thursday I'm supposed to be at my retreat. So I probably won't have a show next Thursday. So when I come to you the next week, then I'll be able to show you what I've worked on. And but I think that the water, this one looks a little big. So I might cut a little bit of this off. And that's what I do. I take time to look at it. I see what's bothering me. Yeah, this is too big. So I'm going to peel this back a little. Cut a little bit off of it. Yeah, I might cut another little bit off, like right here. Let me see if I can peel it up a touch. I'll have to work on that. Then I'm going to come grab a little bit of this turquoise. The only thing is I've got to try to figure out how to get it under this grass. Maybe what I'll do is peel this off. I was going to put, okay, some of these are loose then. Okay, yay. Okay, I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to get the grass up. And I really liked my grass. I thought I did a great job of that. So peel these back. Tore off that piece. I might have to add a little grass. I can just cut little slivers, fuse them, cut little slivers and place it on here. But that's why you don't want to glue until you really know you have it where you want it. All right, so now what I might do is run this down here. But be careful. When you have skinny little pieces of fabric and you try to pull them back up, they'll just rip right off. The way the fabric is woven, there's nothing to really hold it on there. All right, so something like this. I'll figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. I'm not sure now, but it'll give me, give me some time to look around and see what I want. But I do think it would be good to have just a little bit of the turquoise from up there. But I have to play with it, look at some inspiration, see whether I should put it up top or below. I'm thinking I'm going to want it right in there. But I'm hoping this gives you some ideas. And I am not going to, once all of this is sewn down, I know I've got it where I want it. I need more color up here. I'm seeing that right now. So I think I'm going to put some of this and then over here. But I need to vary this. This is starting to look too monochromatic. So what I'm going to do is try to find some more oranges because I've got tons of lights. Now I need to come back in with some oranges. And oh yeah, that'll look better right away. That will look better right away. Like, But you see what I'm saying? I realize, and so it might take a while. You might have to walk away from it a bit and come back and see what you think. But I definitely need to vary this because try to remember this too. I love this orange. That's wonderful. But try to remember that the sunset reflected up in the sky, the lights are only light if they're against some really nice darks, because light really pops when you have the light right up against the dark. So that's when you get contrast. It's all about contrast. Some more prints. Now that's a grand idea. That is a grand idea. So I will keep working on this until I get it just the way I want. But I definitely see that adding more contrast is definitely going to give me a more exciting, you got to break up some of that light sunset with some other color. And I've got to just sit and concentrate. And the main thing is to get the light, decide where in the sky it's reflecting off the clouds, keeping it kind of in this location. And then working in pieces like that up there. And don't forget the dull colors, because it really, the brights won't show up unless you've got the dulls. So just make sure that you do add your dull colors in too. So now this is starting to look unbalanced. This is not making me happy right now, but I think in trying to do it with you here, I'm a little distracted. So let me show you. Let's go to the images I've got saved so we can kind of clean our palette and get back to where we wanted to be, which is what can we do with our background that's going to be exciting. Sorry, that's crooked. All right, And I will show you Miss Dolores's. I saw my glue stick, and I remembered Miss Dolores's. All right, I'm going to turn this around, and okay, good. I'm getting used to this new camera mount system. All right, so let's go see what, whoops, come on. Okay, had to get my mouse to wake up. Here are Miss Dolores's. I don't want to forget hers at all. And what she did is she told me she did confetti work in the background, and then the black or dark silhouettes in the front. Isn't that beautiful? I love her pronghorn antelope. And look at, I'm wondering, did she do confetti in that tree or thread work or what? Oh, and look at all her colors and how they're all, that's wonderful. I love that. Okay, let's go to her next one. She has, and she had already done these a while ago, so before, and she wanted to share them. I love how that sun is behind the giraffe. And you see how striking it is to have her lightest color and her darkest right there together. And I absolutely adore how she's got the thread painting. I'll make sure that my tree goes far enough outside the black fabric I've already cut and do the thread painting to show that leaf definition. But that's beautiful. And she's got one more for us to look at. Oh, the elephant. I love this. A mama and baby elephant. The sun is setting. Oh, now I can really see the confetti work. And then there she's got the silhouettes. And you can make your ground dark. You certainly can. Whatever you want. All right, so let's now go and see what I saved. Let's see, ideas for Art Quilt Thursday, best ideas. All right, now here are, let me show you this. Here is one of, hold on, let me see. Let me get this bigger. I was going to copy a lot of this. And this only doesn't have as many different oranges. But do you see here, now I might have to turn on this light, but let's see if you can tell. You can see, let me bring this bigger. You can see it is a dark brown and not a black. It's got the very dark up here, which is what I did, and very dark down here. But in between, it kind of varies. So that's what I saw that and said, oh, I really like that. And that way I can come in, if I do that, I can come in with thread painting and do some savanna grass there. So, all right, now let's look at another one. I love, this is where I got the idea of putting blue in my sunset sky. And then I was trying to do my edge like this to give a little reflection of what's on the other side of the watering hole. All right, look at this one. Now this has bunches of colors in the sky. This was when you get all those small clouds shoved together. That's really nice. And then I was trying to mimic some of the silhouette of those grasses. Okay. Then here is that one background, and I just I loved all the thin little strips of fabric, the tiny pieces that made that up. Okay, so that was gonna be my method to emulate. Now here is another sky. And see, the normal Deb would try to make it look just like this. But my whole point is to try to add. Oh, look, I love that moon behind there. I mean, the sun. But look, my natural instinct is to smooth everything. But this exercise, I want to piece it more. Now this is a great sky because look how many different colors and the stops and starts, and this even has like clouds or the heat rising off the savannah right in front of the sunset. So that might be really cool to try. Then let's see, whoops, that's the one I just showed you. Then here is the one I looked at to get the idea of my giraffe. And here's that body of water. And here's the background. So I've got to decide how sharp and definite do I want to make it, or how dreamy and misty kind of thing do I want to make it. All right, so now I'm going to go back out and show you again that remember when we're doing this experiment, this project, it's about being bold and making the background its own excitement too. And to try not to overpower the subject, but to add to the subject. So I'm going to let this show, let you watch this. But it's just to show you that backgrounds can really add so much. That's another silhouette with a sunset. I'm hoping this will give you some ideas to just let you go out there. Oh, almost Christmas. And some of these strips move all around too. So I'm hoping those will give you some good ideas of what you might want to try for yourself. And there's so many different, that's the thing I love about fiber art, and specifically art quilting, is the sky is the limit. And it's all wonderful. If it makes you happy, if it gets you excited, or even if you want it to just be peaceful, it's all good. There's so much for you to do. I'm trying to get back to you. Okay, here we go. So, um, I hope that will help. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and let's not meet next Thursday. I could try to figure out how to do a um, a viewing from the retreat. But the one thing is I don't want to disturb the other ladies. It's no longer me putting on the retreat. So I want to be very, very thoughtful. And so let's say for right now that we won't be on next week, but the next week. And that'll give you time if you want to work on one of these. It'll give you time to try to figure out, what would I like to do? All right, let me come and see what you're saying before I say goodbye. Oh, good. You understand English paper piecing. Wonderful. Aren't those art quilts? Art quilts are so amazing. I just love, love, love them. So, oh, great. Okay, any questions? How would you do diamonds? Okay, you probably could get a background and then cut the diamonds. In this case, you might want to put fusible on the back. Cut the diamonds and iron them in place and have the background show through. If you wanted them to look like mosaics, if you wanted them to touch, you got to cut a bunch of diamonds. Otherwise, it would be tricky, I would think, sewing diamonds together if they're too small. If they're bigger, and what you may have to do, you may have to draw a background, draw the diamonds on it, number them, make a copy of that, cut out each diamond, or if they're all the same, cut out one diamond as a template, and then you're going to have to label all your pieces. But I would think diamonds would be a bear to try to sew because you've got Y seams. I guess you know what I just thought of? Your diamonds can be staggered, and that way you shouldn't have to do a Y seam. But that would be tricky. That would be tricky. So I think now this is what I've heard people do. If they want a really unique background like that, they would take their muslin, whatever their foundation is, and they would draw it and draw everything, draw it all out. And then they would cut the diamonds with fusible on the back and then place them on the foundation that they'll have the whole pattern and make it fit what you draw on your foundation. So that's going to be tricky. That's going to be tricky. Oh, thanks for the reminder, for the thumbs up, Miss Mary. Miss Mary, have you thought about, would you like to be the moderator for our Thursday nights? If you would, you're so good, you never forget that. So, and just remember that diamonds stacked on a diagonal can create a straight line, because you don't want to have to do Y seams if you don't have to. I mostly do zigzag because I want to make sure I catch the edge. When you do a straight line, you better be really careful. A zigzag lets me go fast. Oh, and on my new machine, I was sewing something upstairs and it sucked it right down in the machine. You know how it'll do when you've got the edge? So I took it out, made sure everything was, the threads were out of there, anything that got messy. And then I took and slid that thing up so it had a single hole. Because with this new Juki DX7, you don't have to put a new thread plate to turn it into a single hole. It worked wonderfully. The one thing, though, they said, when you change it to a single hole, do not use the hand wheel to put it down or your needle will hit the metal, because all of that is done by electronics. So you've got to let the electronics adjust once you put your foot pedal. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I made this necklace out of a bunch. No, actually, I bought this already made. I love it. I found it on eBay. And what I love is I covered that bracelet early on in some of my early videos, and it kind of matches real nice. I used to have sunglasses that almost perfectly matched it. I don't know how that happened. They broke and they're gone. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Mary, think about being my moderator. Being a moderator means that if someone comes in and causes trouble, you will, catch them, put them on pause, and you'll remind people to give thumbs up, things like that. So you let me know, sweetie. And if you do, I would love for you to be our Thursday night moderator. Okay, anything else before we go? If not, I will see you in 2 weeks. I'll go ahead and put up a reminder so you don't have to worry. Okay? Well, y'all are the best. I will be here Sunday. I'm not going to miss any Sundays. So I will definitely be here the Sundays. And don't worry, well, I'll keep reminding you. It's so nice to see you, Miss Carol, and all of you. It is so good to see you. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good Friday tomorrow. It's Friday Eve, and happy Veterans Day again. And especially to all the wonderful veterans out there and the families, because they also serve. Take good care. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.